Tonight at Full Sail University, a wind advisory is in effect.
God damn it, Jerry, don't say it.
We have a strong breeze in the main event.
Jesus fucking Christ.
This is NXT.
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to What's NXT for July 3rd, 2019. I am your host, the Rated R Reviewer, Stephen Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
Tonight we had a pretty good episode of NXT. Not the best, not the worst, but we got 5 fucking matches.
Oh, yeah.
59 minutes. They squeezed every bit of show out of this show that they could show. Really.
That's a lot of showing.
I mean, we get right into it. We've got Aaliyah with Vanessa Bourne versus Mia Yim. We've been building up to this match for a few weeks. These promos by Aaliyah and Vanessa, where they talk about being the uppers and Mia Yim's one of the lowers and blah, blah, blah. This was a way to put over Mia Yim a little more.
Yep. Aaliyah, for me, looked super impressive in it naturally, but, yeah.
Well, mostly with the help of Vanessa Bourne. There was a spot in there where Mia Yim goes for that running cannonball into the corner, and Vanessa Bourne straight pulls Aaliyah out of the way.
Yep, and that leads into something I hadn't seen before, which is Aaliyah taking Mia Yim's legs and wrapping her body around the ring post versus, wrapping her legs.
She didn't just... What she did was she pulled her to where it looked like she was going to do like a bow and arrow with the full body around the ring post, but she swung her legs to the right, which sent her shoulder or her head, one or the other, swinging around the other direction into the ring post.
Yeah, it was sick looking.
It's different.
Yeah.
I didn't think it looked like it hurt that bad, but Mia Yim sold it well.
Yeah.
The end of this match comes where Mia Yim finally takes out Vanessa Bourne from the equation. She does this suicide dive onto the both of them, throws Aaliyah back into the ring, and then a few offensive move later, protect your neck. 1, 2, 3.
I'm all about protecting the neck. I'm actually being sold a lot more in that move. Grant takes a little bit of setup, but when she does land, it's pretty devastating looking.
It looks like a knee to the side of the neck.
I think
it would hurt.
For me, yeah, that would sting a lot.
Well, after this, we get a recap from last week of the end of the show where Io Shirai turns heel on Candice LeRae after the steel cage match where she started beating the shit out of her with a chair.
Yep. No real follow through.
Yeah, no follow up or nothing. Just reminding us what happened last week.
Well, this leads into William Regal's office.
Sort of. I mean, they start this off with the question to Regal about Candice's condition, and he says nothing before the Forgotten Sons barge in.
Mm-hmm.
They barge in talking, they're complaining about the Street Profits making matches or whatever, and I don't see what the complaint is, because they made a title match with the Forgotten Sons, gave them an opportunity, and Regal says as much. He says, you guys got your opportunity and you blew it by getting disqualified. Mm-hmm. He said, as far as I'm concerned, that puts you at the back of the queue. By the way, Darian, not Quay. Who pronounces it Quay? It's Q.
Yeah.
So, this leads them to say they'll not forget this, blah, blah, blah. They make threats at William Regal. Shit. He's the GM of NXT who hasn't made threats at one time or another to William Regal.
You don't besmirch William Regal, though.
But this does give him an idea. He says the Street Profits should be in action, and instead he's going to put him in a match with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch next week. So we have that to look forward to. After this, we have the vignette of Adam Cole's Bay Championship Tour. And he continues. Again, like they showed at the very end last week, he pulls up on the Gargano's Pizza restaurant or cafe or whatever, pizza cafe. And he goes in to pick up an order of 4 pizzas. And of course, Mr. Gargano recognizes him. And he happens to be wearing an NXT shirt instead of, I don't know, say a work shirt that says Gargano's Pizza on it. Anyway, so he goes to get the order, and while he's in the back, Adam Cole goes over to the wall that's got Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae and several pictures of I guess, just them. Maybe other wrestlers. I didn't pay enough attention.
Well, they're more Gargano than anything else.
And he takes a photo of Adam Cole, signed. I think it said something like, here's a champion you can be proud of, something like that. And he pins it to the wall. And then picks up his pizzas, and on his way out the door, he says, "By the way, I love your photo wall over there.
Your wall of fame."
If it was me, I wouldn't have alerted him. You know, let it stay up there for a little bit.
I would just
really stick to their crawl.
You can tell that it was scripted and all, but at the same time, like it'd be great if he, like the father, just kind of looked off the side and did a kind of double take. And just saw it, and just disappointed, versus Adam Cole pointing it out.
Maybe, but this isn't the end of the vignette here, because Adam Cole stops by some local wrestling school. I guess it's one that Johnny Gargano had visited recently and said some words to. We probably got that in a vignette.
Oh yeah, it was during the before the main event. It was that thing where Gargano was going around from place to place, showing off the belt, pitching.
Oh yeah, because he says in here that Gargano let them hold the NXT championship, and he told them that they work real hard. Any of them could become NXT championship, and he says Johnny Gargano is full of crap.
Yeah, he lied to you all. You're never going to amount to anything. These pizzas, just take them home, sit back on your couch, and just give up.
Yeah, he just talks down to all of them and basically Johnny Gargano, and I guess this is building to a rematch, although I'm not really looking forward to a rematch. I think Cole should move on.
I think we're going to get part 3 in Toronto.
You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing it live.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. We will be in Toronto, by the way.
Yes.
I looked that up. There should be a no DQ meetup. So after this, we get our third match of the night. No, second. At this point, second match of the night. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Just so excited. There was 5 matches. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to say.
We've got Kushida versus something Jeff Parker. He had a nickname, but the ring bell kind of obscure. I have no idea what it was. But Jeff Parker, formerly known as, I think you said, Scott Parker.
Yeah.
And this was just a typical squash match, man. Like Kushida just looked good until he won.
Yep.
And he won with that surfboard lock.
The hoverboard.
The hoverboard lock, sorry.
Yep.
And they didn't call it that. I don't know if they're going to stop calling it that or who knows.
I think they're trying to veer away a little bit more from the Back to the Future stuff. So there's no telling.
It was an okay match. I don't think there's much to say about it. I think he did that pause after coming off the ropes, and then just that physical fucking right hand that he throws that just rocks dude's jaw. And then kicked his knee out from under him and then rolled him into that fucking hoverboard lock.
Yep.
And got the submission victory. And that's what that was. After this, we get an interview backstage with Tyler Breeze because he's got the main event coming up with Roderick Strong. He says this place was NX Breeze long before Undisputed Era ever showed up. And, I don't know, hypes up the match a little. Sure, why not?
Yeah. I was already kind of hyped for the match anyway. Because you have one of the stalwarts for NXT versus a veteran from the indie scene. So it was pretty much like, I won't say homegrown talent because, well, I guess you'd probably say that because I'm pretty sure Tyler Breeze came up from Florida Championship Wrestling.
Well, still though, you know, be it his home in NXT, be he one of the OGs in NXT or whatever, he went to WWE. Sure, he got the call up, but then he just flatlined, and he doesn't come back with any momentum, and he hasn't gained any momentum since coming back. I don't think he's won a match.
Nope. He's looked better, but it's also you only look great in so many matches until people are like, stop looking great and win.
So up next we've got a video promo, much like the one previous, only we actually get some dialogue out of Killian Dane. And it says he's coming soon, and then they say on the announcement it is a re-debut basically when he's coming back.
Yep.
But we don't know when. But that's cool. We've got people to work with right now. After this, we get our second first-round match in the Breakout Tournament. We've got Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Cameron Grimes. Note here, Cameron Grimes was trained by the Hardys, and apparently it's real close. Like, Matt Hardy, they said, was at his birth.
Yeah.
So this was before, I think, Matt Hardy got big in WWE.
Yep.
He might have been, certainly him and
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff had been in as that jobber tag team, just the Hardys or whatever, for a few years before they got big. So certainly he was in WWE, I think. But not the tag champs, the Hardy Boys, you know?
Yeah.
So this was an okay match at the beginning. Towards the end, it got pretty interesting. That's when they started throwing in a lot of the moves that
a lot of the first part of it was we're just working on each other's arms. There's a lot of arm psychology at the beginning of this match.
That's what you want to call it. I call it a little bit boring. Just saying. I mean, this is their debut. Like, they should be trying to wow the but I get it. You know, you put on a slow match for the first half so you can show off for the second half. Show off they did. Each of them with a couple of sweet moves. More so Isaiah Swerve Scott looking great, but then Grimes somehow getting out of situations and shit. And then causing damage.
Powering his way out more or less over Swerve Scott's, like, we'll say unorthodox ways of maneuvering around.
Let me just say, Isaiah Scott has come in at the perfect time because Ricochet just left. And he can do some shit when it comes to the flippy spinny shit.
Yes.
And I've got him, let's see, Grimes throws Scott towards the ropes. And this is the first time I'm like, what the fuck? Wow. So Isaiah Scott leaps over the top rope and handsprings off the apron to leap off the apron and land safe on the mat on the outside. And while Grimes thinks he's got the upper hand, he's turning the other way. Scott's just looking over his shoulder like, yeah, motherfucker. He's about to come in and do some damage. And let's see, he does a rolling, like he jumps in and over the top rope in the corner, immediately into a rolling thunder, jump up into a flatliner. Got a near fall. At one point, let's see, he goes for a crossbody, and Grimes counters this. Isaiah Scott comes off the ropes. Grimes, I think he's running, jumps in midair and counters the crossbody with a backflip power slam. Much like Randy Orton does the side flip, like the spin around power slam, he literally backflips into this power slam and got a near fall. I think he got a near fall.
Yeah.
Or I think he just gets up, he throws Isaiah Scott off of the ropes and then leapfrogs over him into his chest and does the double stomp down. 1, 2, 3. Cameron Grimes wins the match.
So if you guys are keeping up with our bracketology from one of the
Rated R reporters, I'm the only one left in it. Suck on that, Christopher Willis. Yeah, Chris Willis is out. He had Cameron Grimes all the way to the end.
No, yes, for Scott.
Or Isaiah Scott, I apologize. Jerry's got Cameron Grimes all the way to the end. So it'll be interesting to see if he makes it. So now we're all rooting for you, Jerry.
Woo! A prediction I may win.
Up next is our actual third match of the night. We've got Bianca Belair versus Zuniga, who didn't get an entrance nor a name placard. But they did say her name a few times, so I think we get that right. This is just a squash match, a showcase for Bianca Belair, because she kind of pie faces Zuniga a couple of times, just being, you know, a bitch. Mm-hmm. And Zuniga comes back and does this hard pie face right to Bianca's face, and that pisses Bianca Belair off. And Zuniga's like, "Come on, hit me!" And Bianca Belair hits her with a forearm across the chest that knocks her for a loop, knocks an earring out of Bianca's ear, so she takes the other one out and then just starts laying into Zuniga.
Mm-hmm.
Just beating the shit out of her, just running at her in the corner with the spear, just hurting her because she's pissed off. And Zuniga got absolutely no offense here at all. She did that military press into the squats that she dropped, and then she does this power bomb into a deadlift, into another power bomb, into a deadlift that she throws over her head that was supposed to be a snake eyes, but Zuniga lands like abdomen over the turnbuckle and then like face into the post, and then comes off of that with the KOD, which of course is an awesome looking move.
Mm-hmm.
And 1, 2, 3, Bianca Belair of course wins this match. What do you think about this match, Jerry?
I think it's good that she finally got a win again. She's been on a little bit of a losing streak. Granted, it was like a squash match, but at the same time, it was a match.
Better
she
than nothing.
won.
Yeah.
And
she looked great, and it showed off her vicious side.
Yes, that's what we needed to see at this point. So
deeper character.
And pretty much, even what you considered almost be a half a win is still a V, even V's for victory. So. Way to go.
Oh, that was a fourth match, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing track because of Kushida down here.
Yeah.
So, again, I get the third match wrong.
That's fine.
This was a crazy show. So, up next, we've got a video package promo for Matt Riddle. Now, this was interesting because...
I liked it.
This was not the surfer bro Matt Riddle. This was like the guy Matt Riddle. He's hanging out in the dojo and he's talking about the dojo that he's in. He can do all sorts of different types of fighting, kickboxing, MMA, taijitsu or jujitsu, all the jitsus, every last jitsu, and wrestling. And this just shows him doing shit that he does to prepare for a fight, and it was great. He sounded like a human being.
At one point, he's like, people were telling me, it's like, you're too pretty, you shouldn't be doing that stuff. And then that went into martial arts tournaments, then went into MMA, and then UFC, and now NXT. It's like, I'm a wrestler. And he's acknowledging himself finally as a wrestler versus the King of Bros or whatever bro shit.
Yeah, I really like this. I hope they continue to downplay the surfer bro image of Matt Riddle. Certainly that's part of his gimmick, but it doesn't have to be as strong as it's been.
No.
And I think they've slowly started doing this, so props to them, because he really doesn't need it. He's actually pretty entertaining in the ring, so you don't need him to be, like, dumbed down for the stupids.
He's aggressive as shit, yeah.
So, after this, we get an announcement. We already knew we were going to get the Street Profits versus the Britt and Bruisers. That's Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch next week. But this tells us it will actually be for the tag titles.
Yep.
So that's good. And we are on to the main event. We've got Roderick Strong versus Tyler Breeze. And this was pretty good.
Yeah.
I wasn't, like, takeover worthy or nothing like that necessarily. But it was pretty good. What do you think about it, Jerry, the main event?
I think what they're trying to do is push Tyler Breeze as almost like the gatekeeper for NXT now. Pretty much that guy that a win over him will put you in title contention, but a loss to him will put you all the way back down the ladder. To a point where you're working even less than a nacho cart. You're actually repairing the nacho cart. And
there's good money in repair.
Yes.
I only have one note, like, for the duration of the match up until the end. I've got the ending here. But that's just where Strong takes over, hurting Tyler Breeze's back. He catches him jumping off of the steps, cradles him, and then throws him back first across the edge of the steps. And that looked like it hurt really bad. And then picks him up and does a backbreaker over the fucking guard railing. Which, I mean, probably hurt less, but still, Jesus. And then the ending where O'Reilly and Fish come out and they cause a distraction, which ends up with Roderick Strong getting an enziguri on the apron. He gets in and then hits that fucking end of Heartache
Yeah.
which is a vertical suplex into a
Lung blower.
well, it's a horizontal backstabber
Yeah.
for the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. So he beat not only the North American champion in that 6-man tag last week, pinned him, but he now beat in one-on-one the last number 1 contender for said championship. So he's making Jerry's dreams come true. Your prediction's going to be out there. He's going to get a shot at the NA title. Now, what happens after that, we'll see if it leads to a breakup or not.
There's no telling. At this point, with the way talent's being moved around and fluctuated, there's no telling. Because we had Street Profits pop up on Raw. They're saying it's not going to be a permanent thing, that they're just there to kind of
Showcase them.
But at the same time, you know it's in the making. And the War Raiders, that was kind of a slap in the face. Street Profits, they're still champions. They just became the champions even. And now they're being showcased on Raw. They just don't stop, man. They just don't stop.
They're just going to keep purging NXT.
But
hopefully we can get some teams thrown together by some of these guys coming up through the breakout tournament.
But for some reason, like Paul Heyman's got his hands on them, they're going to be doing just fine. And I think that's going to be... I think they're going to do great things on Raw if that ends up being the case.
Hopefully so. So, that brings us to the end of this episode of NXT. And here on What's NXT, we like to rate the main event using the General's 5-star rating system. You always get to go first. So, out of 5 stars, where do you rate this main event?
I gave it a 3.
3.
I pretty much give it a 3 because it's... Granted, there's, I won't say title implications, but it definitely puts Roderick Strong right up there for the North American title at this point. So, that's where he needs to be at. But at the same time, did nothing for Tyler Breeze, who, by all accounts, like the only reason he wasn't on TV for SmackDown or Raw or anything was he was just there as enhancement talent after a while, and he would just lose on that. Now he's at the point where he's just losing every match that he's in NXT, so you're kind of thinking, was it all for naught, or is there going to be a bigger plan? I think at some point, they're either going to start really pushing him, or they're going to move Fandango down there too, and just have him become Johnny Curtis again, and have them team up. Which I wouldn't be against if they're actually stripping away the gimmick in some way, shape, or form of Fandango and just making him a wrestler. So,
I don't know. I think they could do just fine as the fashion police down in NXT with proper writing.
Them and Boogs.
Yeah, I think this whole show was somewhere between really good and pretty good.
Yeah.
And the main event, most of the match was pretty good. The ending would have been a lot better if there had been no interference, or if the interference had been somewhat more creative than just distracting him for a moment, and then it looked like really Roderick Strong could have won the match without it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give this 3 1/4. I'll go a little higher than you.
enough.
3 1/4.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of this episode of What's NXT. Thank you for joining us. Please join us for the NXT party, which might be going up today too. Who knows when it goes up, but we knocked that out already.
Oh, yeah.
So that was episode 50. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So join us for that. We've got Chris Willis and Colin Andrew on the big screen. And so if you'd like to join us on a future episode of NXT, or the NXT party, help us review a future episode of NXT UK. Come have a spot of NXT with us. That's the shtick. You can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne. OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
At NoDQ Journal, and also my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR, exclamation point. And just join us there. Lots of memes, lots of discussions going on. Just good times.
Yep, that's how you get us on Facebook. Don't add us. We won't add you.
No.
Facebook is spoiler free.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on Instagram now at osborne.stefan, so yay. And yeah, if you like our video, click the like button that's underneath me. If you like all of our videos, please click the subscribe button that's underneath Jerry. Just subscribe to NoDQ. Also, subscribe to Aftermatch Wrestling. That's all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. And that's where our videos go up first, and they go up in HD. So if you want to see them in HD, you can find them there. We are at 89 subscribers, and we are on our way to 100. At 100 subscribers, we will start doing this show, What's NXT, live on No DQ. We won't be able to do it live on Aftermatch until we hit 1,000.
Yeah.
But if we can hit 100, I believe we can hit 1,000. It might take a few years, but who knows?
This took less than a year.
That is pretty amazing to me. So thank you out there to everybody that's subscribed. And if you are subscribed to No DQ, hit that bell icon, because when we hit 100 subscribers, we are going live. That bell icon will let you know when. Probably be like a Thursday morning around 7 a.m. So cook breakfast and listen to us babble about NXT.
Stutter and sputter our way all the way through.
And everything. And if you're still with us, you are true fans, and maybe you'll be in the Toronto, Ontario, Canada area sometime in August, for SummerSlam.
Yes.
We will be there too. A lot of the No DQ personalities will be in Toronto. There should be a meetup. I hear it might be pretty big.
Yeah.
Might be pretty big. So come and join us in Toronto, April something, 11th.
That's August.
April, August. They both start with A.
August 10th is the takeover event. I think we're getting there on the 9th.
So I think the meetup should be on the 11th before SummerSlam.
Yep.
So join us for that. For the General Jerry Slaughter, I am the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. And thanks for joining us. We will see you NXT time. I'll throw the pin.
Thank you.